What's up with it? What's going on?
What's up? What's up, my people?
Hello.
We in
What's up?
Yeah.
We in there. We in there like swimwear tonight.
yeah. We back another episode, the Fire Session podcast, back-to-back episodes.
Back to
Y'all,
back.
y'all, we was on last night. We had a great time. We
Yeah.
welcomed the guest of Milk and Cookies podcast.
Milk
we had a
and
great
Cookies.
conversation
Yeah.
with those ladies. That
It
was
was
amazing.
good.
And we already had this show planned, you know what I'm saying, to do it, but now last night was kind of like the battery in the back again to go ahead and push to do it. I got, you know what I'm saying, my guy Gmo with us tonight. I got my homie Monique Askew with us tonight.
What's up? Ask you.
Hey, y'all.
Of course, we got the man, the brand, Benji Banks with us, you know what I'm saying?
What's
As
up with it?
usual, per the usual.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We in there.
And y'all already know what we're talking about tonight. If y'all saw any of the advertisements, as people say, the advertisements,
Advertisement.
you know what I'm saying? Y'all tuned in last night. Y'all kind of got an idea what we're talking about tonight. We're gonna hit y'all with that. Boom, the Kevin Samuels effect, right?
All right. Okay.
So, Gmo hit me up, and Gmo was like, Kevin Samuels, what y'all doing about that? So I said, you know what, it'd be great, Gmo, if you could join us. And he was gracious enough to join us and come through and share his input on the subject. Because listen, y'all have slandered this man's name
Oh,
for a long time.
beat him down.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is, me thinking, we're all human, you know what I'm saying? We all have opinion. We all, say great things. We all say things that people might not like. But at the end of the day, we have our own opinions. This man's a human being, and he passed away, you know what I'm saying? Sadly. So, I mean, the issue I have with all of the slander now is he's gone, right? I think for me, it's a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into a lot of different aspects of it because it's a lot to unpack. And I get, you know what I'm saying, some of the way people feel, but to celebrate someone's death, that's a little tacky to me. I don't know how y'all feel.
Now, if you're a serial killer, I totally understand celebrating the death.
Well, that would be a victory. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, as crazy as it sounds, but I mean, but yeah, I mean, celebrating somebody's death is ridiculous, especially somebody who didn't do anything to you, you know what I'm saying, directly as an individual or family member. Even when I've seen situations where you have people who get killed and their family goes to court to witness the case, and the person gets, you know what I'm saying, the electric chair or lethal injection, and they happy about that. I'm still kind of like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? They took your loved one, but to be excited about it is kind of, it's kind of a borderline type of deal, right? But we're all human, right? At the end of the day. So,
man, we got to call it what it is, man. That's some weirdo activity, bro.
Fact.
Regardless of how you feel about the man said something to hurt your feelings. That's weirdo behavior to celebrate anybody's down pass. I mean, you might say it's a victory if you didn't like them that much, but at this point, why go forward with continuing to twist the knife? I mean, that man, mother is watching, his family watching. Like, it's done. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing more that can be like, how you bullying a dead man? Like T.I. said, it don't make sense.
I totally agree with that. Now, what do we say to the people out there who are like, well, we got the you reap what you sow crowd, we got the karma's coming crowd, we got the all of that. We got all of that. What do we say to those people who have those type of feelings about Kevin Samuels? I know how I feel personally about it. I mean, I see a lot of it as tough love, but what you guys think on that aspect?
Go ahead, Gmo.
So I'm in agreement. I see it as tough love also. I actually watched some of Kevin Samuels' podcasts. I found it to be entertaining and like strong quotes on entertaining. Like that's what it was, just entertainment. I feel like that I have it hard, like talking to people or arguing with people who haven't watched a complete episode. Yeah, it's like reading a newspaper, reading only the headlines and thinking that you know exactly what happened in the story without the details.
So and statistics, really, if we're going to be honest, a lot of statistics they don't give you the full spectrum. They give you some of it is intentionally put out there that maybe to keep you slow in some efforts, but we still have to put info out there. We're getting a brother who's on live, unscripted, straight up front, right off the top. So there's nothing unfiltered. So you're getting the full spectrum. And I think people have had a hard time with that.
Yeah.
Someone who literally speaks boldly and tough. And in this time when people want everything to be kind of give it to them, hand it to them a little bit softer, like we have an issue with that. So, but I mean, to me, he spoke, gave tough love, and some of it was really solid.
See, and ultimately to me, like I started watching it probably when he went viral on the one video about what is it? Average at Best, where he really like chewed into the young lady. So I started watching there and then I kind of dug around and found more about him. So he went viral with that probably about a year ago. Mind you, these young ladies are calling in. He's not telling them to call in. There's no gun to your head to call in. They're asking to be, you know, on this show, on this platform during the point that he's live. And they see what he has done to other women on the show. Still call in. Not only that, I believe the message overall was the message of bringing Black community back together by pointing out our weaknesses. Now, this is the thing that a lot of ladies I don't think saw is because if you go back to the original point of when Kevin Samuels Page started about 6 years ago, he started off being a style expert, telling you about which colognes that fellas should pick out, how they should dress. As the content went on, maybe I don't know, 2 to 4 years previous to now, it was all about the men. He was chewing the men out, telling them how they was, you know, grow up, be a man, and don't no woman want no dirty man, and learn how to wash yourself and clean yourself and learn. It was all about the men. No comment on that though. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody want to see that. I remember,
G-Mo, I remember this one clip, this funny, just to give you audience. I know people have watched them, but for those who haven't, there's a clip where he's literally, this dude calls in. He's like he's on unemployment. He's making like $800 or something like that every 2 weeks. And he literally just asked the brother, he's like you almost 300 pounds, you make this amount of money. And so he's like, do you at least have a big dick? And he's like, well, I don't know. He's like, and he's going off on the brother.
Yeah.
Like going off. And how sometimes I don't understand how that gets lost in the shuffle.
It definitely get lost. It was an even playing ground. He wanted Black people to be at their best on both sides. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not watching full episodes, getting the full context of the episode, it's hard to see so many people like, he hated Black women. And I'm like, bro, I never saw that. Like, and that's not me being a Kevin Samuels supporter. It's just facts. I didn't see that. And I didn't watch over 30 episodes. I've never submitted $1 to his cause. I've never supported in no other kind of way. But the truth is the truth. I never saw that. I didn't see that being his message.
I totally would agree. So we got to find where the disconnect is. Do you think it's simply because the light was shined on an area of weakness, or is there something else that keeps people from seeing the facts, so to speak, the facts? Because men, we consider and say, yo, he's spitting facts. Women are obviously saying, no, he ain't. Not all women. They're all saying that. So some of them are saying that. So how do we balance this off, Ken? How do we do this?
I think people are just used to being coddled, as they say. You know what I'm saying? They used to somebody babying them or somebody dancing around the obvious. You know what I'm saying? Somebody not calling them out. And I don't care who you are, bro. When you're somewhere and somebody calls you out on something, and it's something that you know is an issue, like you feel terrible. You feel terrible, man. Like it's hard to deal with that if you haven't been. I would equate it to, you know, we talk about sports all the time, and we play sports, and we came up. if you know that you're not faster than these other guys on the field, but you're good, and your coach points that out, how slow you are, and everybody's kind of looking at you, you're like, dang, I am kind of slow, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a bad feeling for coach to point that out, but you
it's just the truth.
But you have a choice, right? You have a choice to receive that and say, you know what? Let me go work on getting faster. Let me go make sure that I get rid of this deficiency. Or whether I'm just gonna sit up here and act like it didn't happen. I'm not slow. That's just his opinion. So I'm not gonna fix it, and then I'm not gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody's telling you something, stop being so quick to say, you know what, they're just talking down on me, or they have a negative opinion of me. Consider it. Like, you know, maybe he's on to something. Maybe she's on to something. You know,
we've definitely got into this new era of shaming, where this word has like been a buffer to protect people from the truth. And that's where we getting lost at. Like, everybody want to say they being shamed. And I ain't gonna lie to you, shaming helped a lot of people. I remember being about 16.
I would agree.
I was about 16 with no car, and the song No Scrubs came on, talking about the down the passenger side. I said, you know what? Ain't nobody gonna never call me no scrub again. Let me go get me a car. You know what I'm saying?
Just the truth, right?
You know what I'm saying? Remember jamming to the song, he's sitting on the passenger side like, dang, they describe it.
Man, you gotta push the button and roll the window back up. Like, man, I can't even holler at him, man. You know, so it's like that shaming built character. And it's like, now people want you to accept their flaw because they're comfortable with their flaw. They don't want you to mention anything about it. I mean, if a woman said, if they said, hey, women don't like black dudes, real dark dudes that's fat, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I can control the fat part. Let me go in there and get this gym. Now, I can't do much about the black part.
Style,
I can't do much about the black part, but I can stay out their way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they ain't feeling me, I can stay out y'all way. And that's what I feel like Kevin Samuels, to a point, of these women who asked for his advice, and let's go ahead a little deeper. These women were in their own measure saying that they were average women by the way that they selected a number for themselves. They said they were average women, and these were women who were shooting high to date rich men.
Right.
And he like, you know, just being realistic.
Have to do to date a man in what, the 1%?
Yeah, these are your obstacles. You know what I'm saying? These are your obstacles. You could definitely date a regular man if you could, you know what I'm saying, and work that out great and have a nice middle class life for the rest of your life. But you're shooting high, and you may fail, and you may end up by yourself.
Right. Because the narrative now is don't nobody or can't nobody tell me my worth. Well, if that's not the case, what if you are low level and you're saying you want to reach up? So you think you're going to get it at the same level, same thinking, same mindset, same work habits. You get what I'm saying? To reach the next level. That just isn't smart. But to me, it's like anybody who's ever worked a system or done anything realizes, there's some things you got to get better at. You got to type faster if you want that so-and-so job. You get what I'm saying? You got to run faster. So we're kind of in that space now where people don't want you to tell them anything about themselves. But I think we all grew up with somebody telling us about ourselves. I know I did.
Yeah, we definitely.
And I know Ken did, G-Mo. I know you did. It has to be.
Well, I got an uncle that every time you show up to his house, he's gonna hit you. He's gonna hit you with, "Hey man, how you doing?" He's gonna look at you up and down. Right. He's gonna look at your clothes. He's gonna look at your shoes. He look at you. Hey man, you been eating good, huh? You already know what that means. You know what I'm saying? You probably have picked up a
little weight.
But it for me, it always gave me something to shoot for, because I'm like, okay, I know he gonna say something, so you know what I'm saying. Let me make sure I get right. Let me make sure my you know what I'm saying, my shoes is right, my clothes is right before I come here and make myself presentable. And a lot of people will look at that and, you know, feel some type of way about him, you know what I'm saying, making those comments. And some of my family members do. You know what I'm saying? They were like, he's gonna always have something to say. But my thing is, stop looking at it as a negative. Maybe he got a point. Maybe your shoes are rolling over. Maybe you do need to take it easy a little bit on the honey buns.
My uncle, when he brought me from Texas to Cali, Ken, this is the amazing part about this. is he was very, very, very detailed, tough. So when I got here, all unscripted, it was like, now you got this script because I'm showing it to you. I want you to work it. But he was like adamant about it being done, and will call you out like, you didn't plant that, right? Look at that. Look at that. Like, it was about reaching a certain level. And in this aspect, it was about taking care of your own house, making sure your yard cut, making sure there's, I come from there. We wasn't cutting yards. We wasn't doing all of that, And so for somebody to give me that tough love and demand something greater from me, at first I was sour about it because I didn't understand it. I don't understand why he's pushing me. But then as you get older and you realize when you get your own stuff, you're like, oh, okay. Now we can't have a yard looking this way. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's what he was trying to do for us as a whole. And just like many of us as kids, we reacted because we didn't like what he said, but failed to realize it was actually can be beneficial to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-reflection is hard, man. Self-reflection is hard. And, like I saw a lot of people in the comments of certain videos and stuff like that were saying Kevin Samuels put the mirror in front of a lot of people and they didn't like what they saw. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like it. It wasn't necessarily about what he said. It's the fact that he said something that struck a chord within them. And they felt like, okay, you know what? Somebody else has said that same thing about me. So how he gonna have the nerve to sit up here and say that about me? You know what I'm saying? And he's not even talking about you. He's talking to this young lady that called in and asked for his opinion. So like a lot of those clips that people tend to point out was saying, well, he was saying this to this sister, or you know what I'm saying, he was saying that to this sister. That sister called in and asked for his opinion. You know what I'm saying? So if he said something that people felt like was out of line, they already knew what was going to happen when they called in. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you don't, if you know what's going on, like a lot of people say, oh, I looked at, 10 of his videos. So how you going to tell me if you looked at 10 of his videos, then you can't sit up here and tell me that he didn't say anything of value in those videos.
Facts. I mean, even me watching as a man and him talking to these women, I'm like, hold on. I'm doing some stuff wrong. I need to reevaluate myself a little bit because I should be operating in this tunnel instead of this tunnel. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you should be able to pull, and that's the thing, like, you should be able to pull facts and great content out of any conversation. Whether you agree with
that's if you're optimistic, though. I believe.
True.
If you're not an optimistic person, you're immediately going to find the absolute worst in anything.
That's
like
scary, man.
Some of us are people who come in with the perspective of the glass is half full. It's always a 50-50 thing. Nothing is absolute. I personally believe, and this is just my opinion, the Bible in itself is like infallible. It's like you can pull great everything from it, right? Some people don't see it that way. But even in life, you got to take and find out, is there some good in this? Me and Ken talked about this yesterday, and this was funny. My uncle used to say this. He was like, son, if you get a watermelon, everybody don't like seeds. So now we got, of course, seedless watermelons now. But back in the day, he was like, son, you get a good watermelon, you don't throw it away. You eat the melon and you spit out the seeds. You don't swallow the seeds, you get rid of those. You get what I'm saying? Because they're not beneficial to you. That's when I think that's when you're optimistic, and most people aren't that. So it's bad all the way around. So forget it. I can't get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Well, something I was always told growing up is you're gonna miss the message, worried about the messenger. Sometimes you get too caught up in who's saying what instead of listening for value, right? I guess for us, again, in sports, a lot of times, we grew up with the coach, hollering and screaming at you. So don't get caught up in the hollering and screaming. Listen for what the coach is actually telling you. You know what I'm saying? Get out your feelings and listen for the value in the words. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people cannot do that. They cannot get past the delivery. And sometimes the delivery ain't the best from a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? But, my thing is, it's funny. It's funny, though, because a lot of the same things that they point out with Kevin Samuels that they have an issue with there's a ton of rappers that say the same things in lyrics and songs, and they
Yeah.
dance in the club. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like
Very true.
what is going
Very
on
true.
with that? Like if you're going to talk down on Kevin Samuels for him delivering a message in that way, but you're not going to talk about these rappers, you're not going to downplay them, you're going to dance to their songs, you're going to purchase their albums, you're going to support them, right? But they're saying the same thing or similar things, but they're not saying it to build you up. They're saying it just because it's going to get them paid. It's a different scenario, you know. And I
Comes
think
down to likability then, because if I like you, we rolling with something.
Yeah.
We rolling with something.
Well,
and if I don't like you, jealousy is another story.
That's just like if you got a guy that the women find attractive, or a lady that dudes find attractive, and she says some foul stuff, they'll accept it if she looks good, right? If the dude's handsome to the lady, she'll accept some crazy talk. But if she feels like you cosmetically challenged, man, get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying?
It's harassment.
Harassment, right? Because of how you look. So again, it's not even what's being said, it's the messenger that they can't get past. So I think a lot of people, their introduction to Kevin Samuels was those clips where he was speaking to those young ladies, and they took everything out of context, which people love to take stuff out of context, right?
Comprehension is a huge issue, bro.
Right. So instead of you looking at it and saying, you know what, this is only a 15-second clip, 30-second clip, let me go back and look at the video and figure this out and see what he actually said to put some context to it. That's just how my brain works. Like, I got to go back and look at where this came from, right? So I can understand the fullness of it. A lot of people, they don't live in that world. They live in that microwave mentality where, boom, it's 30-second clip. That's all I'm going to consume, and I'm moving on, and I'm just going to, judge it based on what I just saw in that 30 seconds.
Right.
So, that's why we are where we are, that microwave mentality. I think that is the biggest part of, or one of the biggest parts of the Kevin Samuels effect, is people are just caught, in that small frame. This is what they're looking for. And they're going to look at it and they're going to say, well, you know what, that's what I'm going to make my judgment based on. And I'm going to keep moving.
Yeah, I agree.
So, well, we got some other content that we want to share with y'all. So, I pulled this. Let me show this one first. I pulled this post, and we're gonna talk about this, right? So I pulled this post off someone's page, on Facebook. I ain't gonna give them no shout out, no, because I ain't asked could I post it. So she said one thing that Kevin said: today men need to do things to make women like them, and they're having a hard time with that because for centuries it's been women absolutely needing men, but the way society is set up, we just don't need a man for survival. Things are different now. Men need to be likable to get a woman to like them.
Listen.
That's hard.
Listen. Listen. If women didn't need men, like, that would be so out of order. That's because that ain't even the way God created it.
Well, I don't think he's saying that. I don't think she's saying that. He's saying that they don't need them, but it's like
in the past, need to be likable. They need to be
It's not like, oh, you just gonna like me because I'm a man. So regardless of whatever I'm lacking, you still should like me just because I'm a man, just simply because of that. And that's not the case.
Man, ugly dudes still pull girls. Fat dudes pull girls. Short dudes pull girls. We've seen it from all spectrums, bro, in this life. If you've been around, I know, Ken, I know for a fact you've seen a beautiful girl and she with an ugly dude, and you thought, man, how did he pull her? Like, it happens. It happens.
When I was a kid, I used to, but when I became an adult, I'm like, nah, I don't even question it, because hey, different strokes with different folks.
Right, different strokes with different folks. People likability, it has to be there, but that's so broad of a spectrum because people like what they like. You get what I'm saying? People like different types. Some dudes love white girls. Some dudes love Filipino girls, or some women like dark-skinned men. You get what I'm saying? It's just likability. I kind of agree with that. But everybody's flavor is different.
I kind of believe it's that way on both sides of the track, though.
Right.
Women got to be likable as well.
I mean,
Agree.
likable or smashable.
Those two different categories.
You got to understand, because she might be smashable, but not likable.
That's true.
Listen. I'm just trying.
Oh, man.
Look,
Can she be likable and not smashable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
With men, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But
it goes both ways. She can be smashable and not likable because her attitude may be stank, but them buns, just, the way you get what I'm saying? There's a whole variety of things you can throw in there. You know what I'm saying? She might got cakes, you know what I'm saying? But her attitude might be stank. She may got 3 or 4 baby daddy. You get what I'm saying? Like there's things out there, and women have the same preferences. They ain't stuck in a box. You can pick who you want to pick out here.
So based on y'all guys, like not you, Ken, but the other 2 guys, do you get a lower rating based on how many baby daddies you got?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
For sure.
Wow.
Now, if you older, okay, so now it depends. So let's be totally inclusive, inviting in here. If you in your 30s and you got 3 and 4 baby daddies, and you dating, you get what I'm saying? Could be a totally different story. You probably got young kids. But if you're 45, 46, 47, maybe 48, whichever, and all of that's done with and out the door, your kids is 22, 23, you may have had 2 or 3 baby daddies, but you ain't got to deal with them no more. You're doing something different. It creates a different scenario for a guy. So again, we're talking about likability, but I've met women who were older and less mature than some younger females.
And I also
doesn't mean that the older female didn't look great, but she was very immature to be 45 years old. So there's all types of things you can pull from it.
I also think with that is that don't necessarily mean that the woman is trash or anything like that.
Right.
You just got to think about, if there's 2 to 3 baby daddies, there's possibly 2, 3 or more children. That's a lot of personalities you got to come into. So you don't know what you walking into: the crazy baby daddy, the stupid baby daddy, the Chickenberg one, crazy little kids, over possessive little kids. That's a lot to come into if you don't have that same baggage. So it ain't necessarily that the woman is no good. It's just, it might be a lot of baggage that come along with that.
And it might not, it don't fit you, but she could be fine.
Yeah.
Some women get better after they have kids. They look better after they have kids. It's just facts.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is, it's so prevalent now for you to meet a girl, especially, for these younger guys. When we were coming up, like that was like, you know what I'm saying? When you saw a girl in your 20s and she had a kid already, you was like, nah. But like now, that's regular. That's regular to see, a girl 20, 21 years old with a kid already. So
you can't even really kick it with her.
The possibility is there, right?
And me personally, I would prefer my guy to have kids.
Okay, explain that to us. Is that because you don't want any more kids, or how does that work?
I don't want any more, but I just think that people with kids are a little bit more understanding. You gonna accept my kids because I have two daughters, but they're grown or whatever. But you're gonna be accepting of my kids. The things that I go through as a mother, I just feel like you would be supportive of it more so than somebody without kids. I think people without kids are a little bit more selfish. From my own experience,
I would kind of agree with that.
That's a fact. I think they more self-absorbed because they don't have anything else to pour into.
Right.
That's true. So I think this is a good time for us to segue into this Vivica Fox clip before we get too far gone. I definitely want us to talk about this because this is a doozy to me, right? So I'm gonna get y'all's input because I don't think anybody else saw the clip yet. So I'm gonna let y'all watch this clip, and then we can discuss it definitely. Here we go.
Well, me and Lisa Ray both had the whole side eye. Like, what the hell? Is he kidding me? Healing, healthy. This man was a hypocrite, in my honest opinion. He really was. I didn't find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, that you're no good and disposable. To me, it was a shock jock. And, you know, I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out, the negativity that you put out in the world, that when karma comes knocking at your door, she might not be so kind. So, you know, the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality. Rest in peace.
Now I'm like,
just insensitive.
What does that have to do with this? What does that have to do with anything that was going on? But okay, let me tell you what my sticking point was though right away. When she said, there's two things. When she said he said something like that, well, that lets me know that you don't know exactly what he said. You're quoting quoting something, you're putting information out there to a very large audience, and you're quoting it, but you're quoting it incorrectly because you don't even know what he said. Number one. Number two, and then she jokingly said he killed over. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, this man got a family, this man got kids. Like, really? Is this what you want to put out there? But at the same time, knowing Vivica A. Fox and seeing her, you know, on other stuff and other shows, you know, you got to look at the message.
Look, she got way too much content out there to be the pot calling the kettle black.
Facts.
Like, let's just call a spade and put the, you know, the cards on the table. But I mean, the insensitive part is what got me. But overall, I'm sitting there watching it like kind of in cringe mode because I'm like, that's just callous at its best. That's just cold-hearted at its best. And it's like,
and that's
like, healed over.
And that's acceptable for women, but not men though. That's the sad part. Like, she can sit up there and say that, but if he was to
testify, then please.
if he was to say that, you know, we're casting him out and we don't need to listen to him, but she can do the same thing.
Yeah, and if it would have been
a double standard,
any other race, any other person, any other human inside of entertainment, they would have drugged her. They'd have been ready to cancel her. That network would have been making her apologize, everything else. But because it's in this particular vein, they not saying nothing about it.
Nothing.
Because they like us to be at odds with each other.
Yeah, and that's super insensitive for her to say, with her being on the platform and her acting as a journalist on that show or that publication. That's insensitive that you didn't even do the work to figure out who this person was before speaking ill on them.
Well, it
I
is
mean,
Fox.
She had an A-man corner behind.
It is Fox. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that show was on Fox, by the way.
Yeah.
Now I cut out all the stuff because, you know, we don't want to be giving them no shine like that. But I mean, that show is on Fox Network, so it's not surprising that they will be creating a narrative like that and be letting them spew that type of venom against somebody. And my thing is, you know, for those four sisters to sit on there, you know what I'm saying, and listen to that. You know, I didn't go back and look at the whole thing. I didn't have an opportunity to yet, so I'm not gonna say anything else about the other sisters. But for them to sit there and listen to their sister talk about another brother, another black man, you know what I'm saying, in such a way, I would like to, you know, go back and kind of listen to what they had to say about it as well.
Right. So what do we say to the women who support that callous, that coldness right there? Is there anything? Do you let people stay in their feelings? Do you leave it alone? What do you say in this instance? Maybe Monique, like if one of your homegirls was saying that compared to this, what would you be saying? Would you say anything at all?
I wouldn't say anything. I mean, what people say, let me know how they think. So, if I was a guy, you know, I wouldn't want to be with somebody like that. And if that was somebody that wanted to pursue my brother, I would be like, nah, don't mess with nobody like that.
Okay.
That's not
That's a
my
fact. That do show you a lot of who your Facebook friends is nowadays. You know, when you go through and read and you see how they speaking about this situation, it kind of changes your view sometimes.
Right.
Yep.
People can be pretty cold. People can be pretty callous, be pretty cold, especially in this and in social media era now. Oh man, everybody put on the front for everything. So
Okay.
But
So
I kind of wonder, like, was she upset because maybe she feel like he wasn't with a black woman? Because I didn't know what that had to do with anything.
that's what I'm saying. She was just, I think she was just adding fuel to the fire. You know what I'm saying? Like with that accusation, because what does that have to even do with it? Because he's encouraging, you know what I'm saying, other men to date black women, but then he's dating somebody of another race. What does that even matter? You know what I'm saying? If he's encouraging something, he has a reason for encouraging what he's encouraging, right? Just because I might say don't eat, you know, certain type of food, that doesn't mean that I'm not eating it as well, but I do know it's bad. So if it's bad and I'm telling you it's bad, sometimes just listen to me and know that I'm telling you the truth, that it's bad. But even if I consume it, that's just me, right?
right.
I'm trying to help you still, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I know it's bad, right? So if a crackhead tell me crack is bad, I'm gonna listen to him. I don't have to.
Right, because we know
Or
the after
don't
effects
have
of
sex
it, right?
before you married.
Yeah, I think that one kind of
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah. But I mean, I wanna play the clip from Milk and Cookies podcast too, while we're talking about this,
Milk and Cookies. Y'all go
because they had some feedback on this specific topic as well. The women kind of rejoicing over the death. So let's check that out.
Women, I see a lot of women that were very upset. You know, were rejoicing in his death. I can't.
That's sick.
Unless you do something.
Unless
you do something actually, to me, I can't. You know, rejoice in anyone's death. That ain't my
and that was another part that was really sad. Like people were, you guys. You're disgusting.
Well,
I'm sorry.
People take things, I think you got to really watch his show to understand. And
that's the thing. People were getting clips like
and then
they're not getting the full. They're not getting the full scope of things.
Not only that, a lot of the men who followed him, because they might have been unsuccessful in their relationships, they would take maybe 4 sentences and turn it into this toxicity and spew it on their platforms. So a lot of times that's another reason why a lot of women didn't see the value in him.
So that's a big thing too. What she just mentioned is we even had people who are, because they're content creators as well, so they have a shock jock type mentality where they're just gonna take that stuff from him as well, guys, and put it out there, you know what I'm saying, in a negative light when it's not the context that, you know what I'm saying, it came from. But they know it's going to get clicks and likes. So that's kind of where we at in the world, where it's about clicks and likes. It doesn't matter about your integrity, you know what I'm saying, or your respect for people. It's, can it get clicks and likes? So
and that can be very dangerous, even as a journalist, man, and you putting stuff out there and you don't even know if it's factual or not. You know what I mean? We understand a joke, you get what I'm saying, but to just throw something that is very heinous, that's like, if we threw some information out there about somebody we knew that was false and we just reporting it, we'd be talked about around our respective places, right?
Right.
I also agree with the ladies as well. As like I know I said a lot about the ladies not following up and listening to the whole content to get an understanding. Same thing goes for the men too. Like I have to agree with them on that, because I've definitely heard situations from some of my homegirls where they're dating these men, the men making $70,000 a year, and they like, yeah, I'm a high value man, and I can't do nothing for you, and you don't deserve me to do nothing for you because I'm high value. And I'm like, yeah, you actually not high value, yeah, bro. But you know,
not at all. 70,000 ain't no money.
And for the record, I understand where he was coming from when he talked about high value men, but I hate the term. You get what I'm saying? Like, I hate when people jump on a term and then just use it and roll with it and roll with it and roll with it. You get what I'm saying? Because, to me, that's copycatish. So I'm not in that vein, but I understand and I think the term came from women labeling these men like they like what was the average man, we would say, making $40,000 a year, right? He's considered average. So when we put somebody in the 1%, we're going to call them, high value. Why? Because of the funds that they earn. And we're talking about in the millions then, right? Because a lot of women value that over anything. Mm-hmm. They value the money aspect over a lot of things. So that puts them in a high value. Men, we know that's not true. You can have a lot of money and still be what?
Trash. Broke.
Yes, sir.
And they go back to the likability.
Broke spiritually, broke mentally, like
broke financially.
Other levels to this. You get what I'm saying? We know men. I knew men with big time money, but they used to beat on women.
But they go back to the likability thing that we was talking about earlier.
Yes,
like a lot of women made it okay not to be likable because all you had to do is have finance.
Right.
That's
true. And you can treat them any kind of way as long as I got a bag.
Yeah, and that's what it's been. Like a lot of men feel like, okay, once I get the bag, once I get the money, I can do what I want. I can have who I want. Now that the goal line or the goalpost is being moved a little bit more. Now you got to be likable.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of it too. A lot of women, they were upset with Kevin Samuels about the aspects that he took as far as dating and the feedback that they got. But it's like some of this stuff is, what women created. You know what I'm saying? They created it. So you're going to be upset at him for pointing it out. But this is an environment that you all created. So these guys are just doing whatever it takes to get the woman. You know what I'm saying? And whatever it takes to get the woman is not created by the guys. It's created by the women.
Yeah.
So men pursue money for the most part to get women.
Facts.
For the all part.
We'll be happy driving station wagons.
For the all part.
Right.
Like, yeah, we'll be happy driving station wagons and Pintos, man. But we go get the car to get the girl.
Give me some Hunter spokes on mine. I need a sound system in my ride. You know what I'm saying? I do, but
But see, you wouldn't need any of that if that wasn't fashionable back in the day, right? Our OGs went and got that stuff because when they pulled up to the car wash and they pulled up to the park, they knew that women would be drawn to that, right?
Fur coats.
It's the bait. Like Dave Chappelle says, the bait. You know what I'm saying? And then you put that bait out there, you reel them in. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying?
And most of us got our style and everything from women coaching us.
Fact.
Women created get your nails done. File your fingernails. Our mamas told us that. Our mamas told us brush your teeth. Don't be out here with your breath stinking for the most part. If you were raised by women.
And I don't judge y'all if y'all do, but women accepted the skinny jeans. That ain't my thing, but you know what I mean?
Ain't my thing either.
Yeah, if your socks come off when you pull your jeans off, they too tight. You know what I'm saying? But women okayed that, and that's how they rocking. Women okay men walking around with the purses. It ain't my thing, but hey,
Yeah, we are not okay in that.
No, but see, here's my issue though. But see, Monica says she's not. They didn't okay that, but a lot of your sisters are okay with it, and they allow it.
Yes.
But then they turn around and say, "Well, these dudes are soft. These dudes is feminine." But you allow that, right?
I'm saying that off the muscle though. If you got skinny jeans and furs, like no. But
nah, we're not rolling with that.
Maybe chicks be like, if you got money, you can wear skinny jeans. Because I don't like skinny jeans. I think maybe that's the new era. But the new era, they accept men and like men.
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
Yes. And when somebody comes along and chin checks what you got going on, and some of it, sometimes it was family. Back in the days, it was family told us about ourselves. But then we get, we're in the society now where a lot of us grew up without moms and dads and things of that nature. So some of us, social media influence for these kids is huge. So you get a big personality out there and he's telling you straight up how it is. You get what I'm saying? Everybody
Right.
that's not going to take a liking to that, but some people will.
And
That's
I
why
think
we even on this platform, because some of us took a liking to a lot of the hard lessons he was trying to give.
I think you just said something though, you know, with the father figure piece, because I saw that a lot too in the comments where a lot of the guys that gravitated to him didn't have an OG like we had OGs growing up, may not didn't have a father or uncle or somebody around them to get them some guidance. So when they heard the guidance from somebody that didn't know them, that didn't know their situation, but gave them some jewels to take with them, they gravitated to that, right?
Right.
It's just like any person, when you feel like somebody's adding value to you, you're gonna be drawn to that. So I think a lot of guys latched on to that because they felt like, you know what, he giving me the game. So now I can get myself together and go out here and get me a better woman than the one I've been chasing. You know, I can get up on another level because I checked this box, I checked this box. I didn't check that box yet, but now I can I know
checklist at least.
Now I know what I need to work on because he just told me what I need to work on, right?
Right.
So
validation.
And if he has
when was the last
influence,
time we
it's
had
going to become prominent.
And when was the last time we had a black male that dressed nice, not a rapper, not a gangster, that was actually spewing good facts to young men? I mean, women got it all the time. You can go up and down YouTube and find different women who are speaking to women about, sis, get your bag and all of this. Men ain't really never had nothing like that before.
And I mean, that's very true. I mean, on a hidden level, because we do have our Farrakhan's, we do have our Marcus Garvey. I mean, forever ago.
He probably the only one that didn't preach religion, though.
Well, but yeah, that's what I was just going to say, because that's
true.
the biggest thing I think that gets lost in the shuffle is we have people out there who are representing, you know what I'm saying, awesome black men in our society, but it's often attached to religion. So you attach something to religion, then you alienate a certain portion because they feel like I don't even want to hear him because he's of a religion that I don't want to be involved with. I mean, the crazy part about that is, bro, a lot of people that don't want to be involved with, you know, say Islam, they don't even know anything about it. Again,
they've heard tons of negativity about it.
I was just going to say, see, this is the same mentality I heard, but
not doing research of our own
and figure it out on your own because you're afraid of what you may find.
Exactly.
See, that's the problem. Go and research and don't be afraid to find something new about yourself or find something that you agree with. Because look, I was brought up in a Christian household, and in high school, I dated a young lady who was Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Her parents were from Sudan. So like she gave me a different mindset. It didn't change my religion, but it gave me a different mindset and perception of, you know what I'm saying, Muslims and that culture. And she gave me the, you know, the background information, you know, Black Muslim and Sunni Muslim and all these different, you know what I'm saying, groups. Like I didn't know none of that. So see, I was just real green and I had that mindset of, well, you know, they blow up stuff and, you know, that stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying,
that's what's reported. That's what you hear.
Yeah. So that's all I see. So the thing of the matter is people got to do better at going back again and getting some context to the things that they're seeing.
Research.
But people don't want to do the work. Even with their own self. Just like Kevin Samuels was, you know, making comments about women. A lot of times we don't want to do the work to figure out what's wrong with us. Even like when you transition from one relationship to another, you haven't taken any time to figure out like what do I need to fix within myself before I jump into the next relationship, because it ain't just him that was toxic in a relationship.
But that's the narrative we get most of the time. Listen, I have yet to hear a woman say I was wrong in the relationship. I have yet to hear that. For the most part, you get it was the dude's fault. Like, and then you kick it with somebody, and then you find out, like, yo, like, that's like, you think that's cool? Or you think that's straight? And normally, you know, if you're not around solid people, they'll let you continue in your ignorance, in your folly, or whatever you want to call it, in your BS, until you meet somebody that's really like, yo, like, wait a minute. Like, nah, like, You got a 550 credit score? like, hold on. Like, what have you been doing?
Nah,
Right.
You don't pay your bills on time? Like, what you been doing? You almost 50 years old. Like,
they gonna call you a hater, bro. They gonna say, "Oh man, Benji be hate, man. Benji was over here talking this and talking that, bro. He just told you need to get your credit score up. Like, how's he a hater for that? You know what I'm saying?
You ain't
Or
going
I
to
don't need no man. Since
you ain't going to no bank. Listen, one of my partners put it to us like this. He was like, "Listen, Kevin Samuels was giving out credit scores, and people didn't like their credit score. They thought they was gonna go to the bank with that 550, and the bank said, "Sir, we can't approve you for so and so unless you have this amount." You ain't gonna tell the bank. You ain't gonna look at the bank and squabble with the bank, because you know the bank know what they're talking about. They on their game. Or you're gonna pay this huge high interest rate for that Benz that you want.
Or you gonna get something you don't want, Benji.
You gonna get that
there
you go. There you go. I like that. You're gonna get
No
something
limit
you
motors.
don't want because you don't qualify for that. Give yourself a couple years of actually paying your bills, your car note on time, and then come back and all that. They give you a shot.
Yeah, he gave a lot of jewels out, man, and I think that that's the biggest issue I have. Like, I can understand if he was just a negative dude, or he was just a shock jock, as people claim that he was, and just saying stuff just to get clicks and likes. But he was actually giving out some great information, bro. Like, I just don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? How he has all this content out there, and out of all that content, this is what you come up with.
Your boy, once somebody in the comment section said "No Limit Motors."
Yeah, I said "No Limit Motors." You know what I'm saying? No Limit Motors. Hey,
you gonna get your ride from No Limit Motors?
No. Hey, listen. There's no negative connotation to that. I just use No Limit Motors as an example. Don't. If you from Dallas area, you already know. Hey, if you from the Dallas area, you already know.
No Limit Motors. I thought I told you. No.
Yeah.
You're a fool for that one, man. You're a fool for that one.
Hey, man. You know what? I want to also play this last clip that I have from Milk and Cookies podcast, where they're talking about, that he was an ally for Black men. And I think that was huge. Like we were talking about a little earlier, for us to have somebody who's actually speaking to us, what I'm saying, who makes us a priority, who makes giving us, the knowledge that we need to be successful. And like you were saying before, outside of, somebody who had a religious, position, like nobody was really out there pushing that narrative like he was. So I just want to play this last clip right quick.
He was very much of an advocate for Black men.
Yes.
He was an ally for Black men.
Yes.
Black men don't have a lot of
strong guidance, I feel like.
And not even strong guidance, but they don't have a lot of people in the public sector, like real, just completely focus channeling in on them. It's always it's never just solely focused on Black men and Black men being the priority. He brought that that focus in. He narrowed it in. He spoke to Black men. He loved on Black men publicly, and I think that's a reason, because I've seen a lot of brothers like really like, I'm so hurt. You were like a father figure.
Right, a father figure.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
And then I seen women insulting that, calling them homosexual, saying that they shouldn't. Yeah, because
like y'all are
just
trash.
crazy.
Right. So that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like, even when those guys, because let's keep it 100. The ladies have other people out there that is a list of them. Bless you. There's a list of them.
Thank you.
Ladies who advocate for ladies, you know what I'm saying? And they be on that post, girl, yes, period, and all that stuff. But when Kevin Samuels comes about and he's saying something to elevate Black men, then the problem is, oh, well, he uplifting Black men, but he over here talking bad about Black women. No, you have to look at the totality of the episodes or the content, right? Stop judging it based on these clips. Right? But even if he is giving something positive to black men, our sisters should see that and say, you know what, we need to
hear that.
We need to support that. We need to support
Absolutely.
that. Maybe not support everything that he does, because everything that he does might not fit you.
Right.
But that, you should get behind that. Click that like, share that with your brother, share that with your dad, share that with your son, because he needs to hear, you know what I'm saying, some of that positivity, right? I think, again, so many people don't know the information behind the guy, so they just would rather, you know what I'm saying, cancel everything that he says and group it all together and just dismiss it.
Yeah,
But
I agree with that. I feel like that in today's culture, man, like black men get silenced a lot. Like there's not, whenever you start to speak out in your truth, you get shut down. You get told that you're aggressive. You get told that you pressing a certain agenda against females, or you know what I mean? It's a lot. And so to play things cool, we always just kind of shut up. Like, man, I don't even want to go through that. Like, she finna start yelling.
And that's one of the reasons why men honestly don't talk a lot.
Right.
Because you put your stuff out there, you put your feelings out there, whether it be to a lady friend or whoever it may be, whoever you confide in, and then that person, we talked about this last night, then that person takes what you deem as very valuable to a hill of beans. It doesn't matter anything to them. And for men, we have a tendency, like if I'm going to drum up the gumption to be vulnerable and then you take it south, like ain't no need me even talking to you. Right. And one of the questions I asked last night to the ladies is when was the last time, you invested in your man's own mental health? Like, have you even sent him to a seminar? Have you even told him to go to a therapist? Some men looked at Kevin Samuels and thought, I can listen to this dude and get my ish together. You know what I'm saying? It takes some work. And that was valuable to them. So I asked them last night, everyone has what they want out of everything. But when was the last time you actually invested in a man's mental health? Like, especially brothers. Brothers don't talk like that. Brothers don't get on platforms and talk and cry and do all of that on a regular. Like, we usually reserve, kick back, chill. You get what I'm saying? But now we got this platform and people are speaking out on behalf of this guy. And I think it's very, very, very helpful for brothers to be able to open up and speak up.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I think we have a couple comments. I'm just going to, they kind of long, so we're going to try to throw these up there. All right. Lyric Hunter said, women are so emotional. They take the clips and they go off because it hits a trigger, which is 100% facts. But they ain't ready to hold themselves accountable, so they point the finger back at the messenger. All 100% facts, Lyric. That's spot on. Right. I think is like, if he's pointing out something and it's a trigger to you, number one, if you've been eating donuts a lot, if you've been, you know what I'm saying? If your diet's bad, right?
Lay off the glaze. Off the glaze.
Don't get mad because somebody points that out, right? Because you'll even get mad at your grandma when you come in the door and she say, baby, them pants don't fit right no more. You want to get mad at grandma, but grandma's spitting facts.
Grandma spitting facts.
Grandma is telling you she didn't wash.
Girl, I know you're big, but that outfit a little bit too tight on you.
My thing is stop looking at everybody that has something to say that's not, you know what I'm saying, what you want to hear and taking that as negative. Yeah, right. Hey, you know what? Those jeans are a little too tight, son. You need to take those off, because I'm gonna tell you what, them boys gonna be like, you a little thick. You know what I'm saying? And if
you got that ass.
Yeah, if you don't get that kind of attention, you might not want to be advertising like that. You know what I mean?
Say it.
But I mean, people tend to take. I mean, people can't take criticism, man. Don't get me wrong. I had to learn how to take criticism, right? I had people around me, who criticize and do all this stuff. But to take criticism from a stranger is a whole different ball game. Somebody who you don't know telling you something that's negative about yourself, and you're like, dang, even if you know it, it's still hard to internalize that and move past it, right? Because you feel like how they gonna sit up here and tell me that, you know what I'm saying? And you trying to, you know, with us, we come from the scoring era. So somebody say something negative of us, we looking at them trying to analyze, trying to think of something we can say back, you know what I'm saying?
And come back.
Yeah, trying to think of a comeback instead of analyze and say, you know what, they kind of right. You know, so my shirt is kind of tight though. I have been eating bad. I might need to do some sit-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that type of energy
does go a long way.
Yeah, facts.
If you're willing to heed it.
Yep, facts. And we got another comment here. Fred Smith said, men tend to shut down, especially when oftentimes they don't have the vocabulary or the debate skills to accurately make their perspective and point clear. Facts. And that comes from not investing in yourself. And that's one thing that Kevin Samuels was huge on, investing in yourself. Do things that can help raise, like you said, the high value man. You need to be investing in yourself. You can't become a high value man until you invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like step your game up. When Gmo was talking earlier about Kevin Samuels, his start, right? That's what his start was, saying, hey guys, you know what I'm saying? This is how you should dress. These are the colognes or fragrances that you should be, you know, looking at, trying to help. So that's where he started at, from a helping standpoint. And then as he went along, he continued to help, right? So, I mean, that's the way I would view it. But unfortunately, most people are not viewing it that way. So, you know, y'all tell me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as, you know, what you all saw from Kevin Samuels from your first reaction to his videos until the end, like, what was your journey with Kevin Samuels?
To me, Kevin Samuels was consistent. His mindset didn't change much. I mean, he still was to me trying to elevate both women and men, and allow women to see, you know, areas that they can enhance themselves, as well as men too.
Right.
Yep.
I would agree. And I think that's the overall synopsis too. I think most people, I can say everybody for sure.
All right, Gmo.
From my first perspective, I saw the average at best video, and I was like, man, I don't like Buddy. I said, man, he doing this, he doing this lady wrong, man. I like the lady he was talking to. She wasn't the most attractive, but he was digging in on that. I was like, damn. I'm like, man, you got to relax. I'm like, I'm cool. I ain't never got to watch him. And then of course, like, so I'm working, and I like to have some YouTube playing in the background, and one of his videos popped up, and I get to listening, and I'm like, this one Buddy right here who be going hard on the women. So I listened to one video, then that one went, and I'm like, Then the second one came, and then the third one came, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, he's right. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm like, you got some points here. I'm like, I could use a little bit of this. And I'm like, you know, he like, yeah, the woman, she not this valuable because of this, and this. And I'm like, I mean, where's the lie? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no lie there. I was like, it was very harsh the way it came because it was direct. But I also look at this, a 50-something-year-old man. If I think about the 50-year-old something mean in my family, they don't.
Right.
When I think about them, they didn't earn their wings to be like, bruh, I could say whatever I want to say. You know what I'm saying? When you get to that point. So I was like, this kind of like an uncle. He just talking this little ish, you know what I'm saying, and getting it out. But I'm like, but where's the lie? I mean, you could be upset with the tone or the vernacular he used, but where's the lie? And so after a while, I listened. And like I said, I went back because I want to see where this started from. And a lot of the women, a lot of the content directed to the women was recent. You know, like he did a lot directed to the men and putting the men on the phone for like the first, 5 years or so. And another thing, just to piggyback off of that, I want to give him a shout out, less on the content, but just on the persistent. Like, this man started 6 years ago and his channel was not popping. It took him 5 years of not popping before it finally popped off in that 6th year, and then he was out of here. But when you look at that, man, that's kind of like, if you could separate what you don't like about him, that's goals for life, man. Like, quit giving up so easy. Like, keep going, keep pushing. He built his content up. If you look at the beginning, he was wearing some corny outfits, the sweaters with the shirt hanging from underneath it. And then all of a sudden he in his suits, his two pieces. Then you see he's standing in front of a picture. Then it started to slowly merge into he set his office up and the progression into his craft. Like, that's excellent, man. And I think that's something that even if you don't like his content, look at how to stay consistent with it is with what you love or passionate about until you grow that.
Absolutely.
I will say he had some cringe-worthy moments, so I would totally agree with that. Because it was tough love sometimes. It was an assessment for some, and I mean, again, he would ask for dress sizes and this and this and it.
Yeah,
you know,
they ask for assessments.
Right. If you're going through all of those and you say you want something in particular, do you really believe you can get it as is? And to me, that's delusional.
And let's highlight for like the listeners that he's an image consultant, not really a love guru. That's kind of something that was thrown on him, but he's an image consultant. So that's why the rating of women came in, not to degrade them, but usually that was his profession of seeing how to change people's images and dress sizes and what your height should be, your height weight proportion. So it wasn't really an insult. It was just off the standard of what it should be.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And he always referenced to actors or celebrities more so.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're reaching for something, we talked about this earlier, but it's no different. Like I said, when Ken said about the coach aspect, right? If your coach giving you some particular advice, you're too slow. I mean, we need you to get your speed up. We need you to run some wind sprints. You have to take that into consideration. We would hope you would, but everyone doesn't. So
and I agree with G-Mo because like when I first saw his first video, he said something that that cracked me up because he told this lady she was built like a linebacker. Like,
was it the running back one or the linebacker one?
No, he said linebacker. But my thing is, like, when she gave her measurements, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I'm thinking linebacker. But for a lot of people, they just took it as he's trying to roast. You know what I'm saying? He trying to hurt her feelings. But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you call this man and you ask him his opinion. So you cannot get mad about him giving you what you asked for. Right? So I mean that's just at the end of the day with that piece of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you called and you asked for this man. This man did not lobby. This man did not say, hey, ladies, you know what I'm saying? I need to tell y'all this, so y'all call in. Nah, if y'all want to, y'all are more than welcome. You know what I'm saying? And women saw those videos and they still called in.
Right.
And he definitely offered that he do private consultations. Still calling, his live.
You can pay for a private one, private consultation, and it just goes to show you that content wise, that people will come in to try to kind of, do you dirty in a sense, throw dirt on your content, that type of thing. And he wouldn't allow it live. One of the things I used to always say is he used to say, well, what you're not going to do is do this on my platform, right?
That's what I was just about to say, though. It was a lot of women that got on there strictly for the clicks and the likes.
Right.
Because they knew when he put them up on the thing, a lot of times, especially like on Instagram, if you go live or Facebook, sometimes it'll have the name at the top, especially like on IG. So people can see, like, hey, this is, so-and-so 3562. They can go to her page and like her page and get her subscribers up, her numbers up. So it will be women that will call in just for that. They didn't really want to hear what he had to say. They wanted to get on the platform because they knew they were going to be seen. Right.
Exactly.
So ultimately, like, man, you do what you want to do. You ain't got to listen to that man and his opinion. Do what you want to do. Like, if you don't agree with it, don't agree with it. If you don't want to take the advice, don't take it. But like, don't be hurt about it. Go do what you feel is right. Ain't nobody forcing you on nothing else.
And I'm sure that's not the first time you was called a linebacker.
What'd you say, Monique? What'd you say?
You've been called a linebacker quite a few times before.
You've been called. 220 pounds. She weighs more than a running back.
That man said running back. Then the man said her hut. I was like, wow. But that goes back to what Gmo was saying earlier. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't understand that was entertainment, right? When we log on to go on these streams, to go on YouTube and everything, most of us are not licensed for anything, right? We're just here sharing our opinion and our
thoughts, right?
That's it, right? So when you tune in, you already know, hey, they're not licensed doctors. There are some out there, licensed doctors and therapists and things like that, and they have podcasts and great information, but that ain't us.
That ain't us. You know what you're getting when you come on the Fire Session podcast. You're gonna get some opinions. You're gonna get some ideas, some ideology, some perspective from a man's perspective or from a woman's perspective, right? That's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
Yep. So that's all it was with him, is he was giving his opinion on a bevy of things, and people just could not take, you know what I'm saying, the constructive criticism. Right. Because that's what it was. Like, he was giving constructive criticism, right? Because when you say constructive criticism, I'm going to tell you what's wrong, but I'm also going to give you a solution for it, right? Which most people don't do. They just call you out on something, but don't tell you how you can fix it. He was telling you how you could fix it.
Get in the gym, work out. I mean, self-consciously, if you aren't thinking those things for yourself, period, like, then they become offensive. But if you know you need to work out, like, if the doctor's telling you got heart health issues, you need to, do this, do this, do this. For the most part, most people will do it, right? They believe in the doctor. You get what I'm saying? But if you, within yourself, if you know you can't, listen, if you love fried chicken, you know you can't eat it all the time.
Yeah, this era now kind of lacks accountability.
Right. Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
I see people posting Williams chicken about 2-3 days a week. Rudy posting Rudy's chicken 2-3 days a week. I'm like,
this era now just lacks accountability.
Right. You can't do it like that every day. You know you can't eat fried chicken every day.
And it's just gonna get worse. All these participation awards, you ain't earned nothing. That's
bring shaming back.
Bring shaming back. Okay. All right.
Let's get some Donald Trump hats to say, making shaming great again.
Hey, man, like Gmo was saying, though, it's just certain things that I think are just we need to bring back to the forefront, right? Being allowed to be brutally honest with people, right? Everybody wants something delivered the way that they, in a special package just for them. Now, we're gonna tell you what you did wrong, and we're gonna give you some, some way to fix it, right?
Right.
We're gonna try to help you out. I mean, like I said, I would be doing myself and my friends an injustice if I knew my friends were sitting up here eating honey buns every day, and I not call them out on it, say, hey, bro, you the same person that, just said you wanted abs like this dude over here, but bruh, every time I see
them eating honey
buns, like we got to be able to say that. But all too often, if you say that, you're a hater. Are you just hating? Are you just hating? Nah,
me.
Yeah, man. I'm really trying to get you to stop with the honey buns. I say honey buns
man.
Because
even though I want me some Church's chicken right now. I mean, I'm just saying. It's just, man.
And what is a hater exactly?
It's anything like that.
Today's time, if you say anything against anybody, you a hater. You're a hater.
That's a fact.
Man, anybody no hater, man.
That's a fact. If you say anything that's not positive in their eyes, you're a hater.
Listen, man, if your breath stink, I'm gonna tell you.
It ain't even gotta be that. They can have on some shoes and you be like, man, I don't wear Team Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they gonna he a hater. How you
and
just
ain't nobody hating on Team Jordans.
I just said I don't wear them. I just said I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't say anything was wrong with them, even though I ain't gonna wear them. I might hoop in them, but I ain't gonna wear them out to the club. You know what I'm saying?
This one is funny though. So FX, the trade, has been selling fake Nikes, and I'm sure people have been out there bragging about them.
StockX.
Yeah, they've been selling fake Nikes. So can you imagine? Can you imagine cats like, yo, man, I told you them was fake. Like,
imagine you didn't pay 2 and 3 more in the amount for the shoe.
Right, you could have went to Big T. You could have went over to Big T.
Double the price for the shoe, and now you're finding out that they fake because Nike done bought some of them and was like, yo, like we bought 4 pair and all 4 were fake.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And what you gonna do? Like, I guess Nike hating, huh? No, Nike was giving y'all them facts and trying to tell y'all forever ago, but you didn't want to listen, Pepper. You didn't want to listen.
Yep. Well, my thing is, I just want to, list out these things, some things I had listed, what I'm saying, that I saw in the comments when I went through a lot of the videos and stuff for Kevin Samuels. I saw father figure. I saw OG. I saw motivator. I saw a realist. I saw that he discussed black love and demanding that you be better. You know what I'm saying? These are all things that people were discussing under his post in IG. Now that he's passed away, a lot of people went back through those posts. So these are some of the things that I saw in those posts. And I'm like, I was encouraged when I was seeing a lot of the positivity, but then you would have people that would say something positive and just say he was like a father figure to me. Then you would see somebody under there with like, how you gonna be a father figure to you when he calling women running backs and doing all this stuff? I'm like, but you don't know how that young man felt when he watched those videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, let me give you an example. For us growing up, people used to say, Boys in the Hood was a terrible movie. It was a terrible depiction of the black neighborhood. And, instead of them glorifying violence and things like that, they should not be putting that type of stuff out there. But for a lot of kids, that helped. That helped them to see that movie, to see those examples.
That's what they grew up in.
I don't want that. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to be my reality. So I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to go a different direction. So you can't sit up here and ostracize somebody else because they like a certain person and they like that person's perspective. Everything ain't for everybody, right? But he had his people that rocked with him and they still rocking with him. And he has tons of content and it's going to be out there for forever.
Yeah, it's gonna be out. People sharing it. People are going back finding clips when he was in his 20s, and he did the interview where he said he had Hodgkin's lymphoma at 20-some years old.
Yeah,
so
21.
he realized early. What was it called?
At 21, he had Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah, and like at 21, so he understood life. We're mortal. He understood that at a young age. You know what I mean? And so to see that, you do kind of get the perspective of what a man goes through. He went through that in his life. As you get older, you get what I'm saying? You realize you ain't taking nobody's mess. Like, you're going to cut it. You're going to tell people the truth. You're going to give people the facts for the most part. Especially if they ask your opinion, you're going to give it to them.
And he was trying to give people game too, just like you were saying with that, with him being diagnosed with cancer at 21. Like he had in that interview, one of the interviews, he was talking about that he had a different mindset after that. Right. Once I heal up and my body's healed, I got a different motivation. Like Gmo was saying earlier, that motivation, that consistency that he showed, to continue to push, because let's be real. It's a lot of people that started podcasts and shows and all that stuff during the pandemic that fell off. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't understand the consistency that it took, the work that it took behind the scenes. And now that we've been doing that, I can tell you firsthand, it's a lot of work that goes on that people don't see. So for him to do that, I'm like, Gmo, I applaud him, because man, that's a lot of work to put out that much content and be, you're not only the producer, you're the on-camera talent as well. So you have to, it's a lot of man hours. That's a lot of thought process, creativity. Like,
yeah, I would agree.
People don't even look at, you know what I'm saying? So like Gmo was saying earlier, to watch that growth, I mean, you can't, to me, that's something you just can't hate on, to watch that man climb, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what you thought about his opinions, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to see that was motivating in itself, you know what I'm saying? To see where he came from to where he was before he before he passed away.
Another thing that I paid attention to with listening to him is, when we out here and we become adults and you find who you like and you want to marry them, you become a husband, she becomes a wife. A lot of us never had an example or a job description of what a husband and a wife is supposed to do.
Come on now.
I feel like he broke that down a lot. Like, he said a lot of stuff towards the women, but there was a lot of information that men supposed to be doing as well, which had me looking at things different. Like, I'm like, okay, this is something I missed out. I don't have a lot of examples of married figures in my family. You know what I mean? So listening to this, I'm like, okay, don't misstep on this part and pay attention at this part and guide in this way and show this is how you're going to lead as a husband. It was just a lot of jewels in that conversation that he used to have.
I would agree. Especially for those who didn't have that role model to view. I know I didn't, but my resemblance when my uncle came into the picture, that's when I understood more. He was hard on me, he was harsh. So when Kevin Samuels came on the picture, I took a liking to it because, again, that's how my uncle would come at me. That made me better, because where I was coming from, to hear and see somebody doing something totally different than what I was used to was scary in the beginning. But then as I got older, as I saw what he had, as I saw how he maneuvered, I was like, you know what? I want to move like that. You get what I'm saying? I want to live like that. I want to so-and-so or be better or whatever. And if he had to do that, if he had to get up at 3 a.m, you get what I'm saying, to make it to work and show some type of discipline and drive to the county courthouse or the Pomona courts or whatever every morning to get this, that told me it's going to take you some work. You ain't going to get it with a bike. You just, that'll get you a Carl's Jr. job straight. But
right.
if you want to do something else, you get what I'm saying? You're going to need to get you a ride, catch the bus, get you some bread, get you some money, do whatever you need to do. You're going to try to elevate. And I think ultimately that's really what it boiled down to me is watching some of the stuff. You can draw inspiration from it and say, you know what? If I did this, I could achieve that. In most cases, I think we all believe that.
Yep, he gave us definitely, as men, something to shoot for with certain conversations that he had, because I got OGs, I got uncles, I got grandfathers. I've been told a lot of stuff. So for me, some of the concepts that he discussed and the stuff that he talked about wasn't new, but it was reiterating, what I'm saying, something that I had already heard. So it was like, okay, so it must be something to it if somebody who I don't even know is repeating the same thing that my uncle is saying, that my dad is saying. So, one thing that somebody pointed out in the comment, Aaron Lett said, that's how that generation talks. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing too, because with him being almost 60 years old, he's in a whole nother category as far as, I'm saying, like for us, that's,
Man, I can't wait to get to that age.
No games with you,
that's
man.
Our uncles.
Man, when I get that age, I'm finna be talking all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, you earn the right.
If your uncles and your pops them were on their game and your grandfather and them, trust me, if they was on their game, they got some harsh lessons for you. I guarantee you.
It's a fact. It's a fact. So I think that's where a lot of people don't, especially with social media, a lot of the people that have the issues are younger people. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them in the comments are younger people and younger women, and they're not used to a guy being like that, because let's just be honest, a lot of these ladies that might tune in, a lot of these ladies don't have a father figure in their life like that.
That's very true.
And I pay attention
or
to
they don't respect them.
I pay attention to
their dad.
I pay attention to the fact that it's a lot of people who live in the outside. Like, I feel like it's two type of worlds. We got a modern world and we got a traditional world. A lot of the people who live in outside of tradition, they living in that modern world. They don't want you to say nothing, because you know what tradition do? Tradition shame you when you out of line. And so when you out of line, it'll shame you and tell you need to get back in line because you're doing stuff wrong. Tradition is usually aligned with the Bible, maybe some Christianity or whatever religious roots, but it's aligned with that. But the modern world, you just want to have fun, be free, do whatever, don't want nobody to say nothing to you. But the results that you're looking for, ultimately, like if you're looking to be married, to be a wife, to be a husband, modern things don't align with that. And so
Right.
you find yourself out of pocket and out of character. You want things from modern world, but you don't want the shame that comes with the traditional world. So it's like, I noticed that a lot of people who have things to say, they're a part of that world. Let's get drunk, be free, have fun, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they not trying to live into those accordance of that traditional lane.
Right.
Yeah. They don't want to put in that work. They don't want to put in the work that it takes, because I mean, look at, no knock to anybody out there who had surgery, cosmetic surgery, but that's one of the things that sticks out.
We knocking them.
Yeah. I'm not knocking them, because I don't know the reasoning, right? I don't know the reason. I don't know the reason why they had cosmetic surgery, but cosmetic surgery is a quick fix, and it's a lot of people that'll sit up here and eat crazy and do all the stuff, don't want to go to the gym, but steady have consistent surgeries or want to get a surgery. So, you know, it's like you taking the easy way.
They're willing to pay for it. It costs.
Well, I mean, if they want to pay for it, that's fine. But my whole problem with it is, don't tell me how much you want this, but you're not willing to work for it. Because you have people that have like, I know a person that works with me, they had gastric bypass surgery, right? And it was for health issues, right? So I get it. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that weight off. Boom. You know what I'm saying? You had the gastric bypass. But to see them continue to consume the food that got them where they are in the first place after the surgery, that, excuse me, that kind of bothered me. And I'm like, so you went through this process, but you're not willing to put in the work that it takes to maintain what you have. And I think that's one of the things that Kevin Samuels used to point out, is put in the work to get the results, not just, you know, manifest these results. Like, you praying for the husband you want, but you're not willing to make any changes to get that husband that you want. You want him to accept you as you are, and that's unrealistic.
But won't accept him how he is.
Right. He gotta be high value.
Already. You can't work with him until he become high value. You know what I'm saying? He got to be there already.
Or see, and that's what interjects into when a man gets his money, that he feels he can treat you any kind of way, right? You accept being treated any kind of way because he's got his bag, he's got his money together. Don't care if he's got attitude issues and this and all of these things going on in his life, right? I'll say this, because I thought this was interesting. We kind of hinted on it last night as well. Was when men get to a certain place and you find that dope woman, it's almost a given that both of y'all gonna end up working on each other and helping each other out to grow. Like, that's how it should be, right? So I would hope if you're with somebody, they can say something to you, you can say something to them, because we talked about a little friendship last night, right? Mm-hmm. And being able to say to you, yo, like, you're a little too big, or you're too this, or you're too that. You should have that camaraderie with somebody, right?
Right. Or I don't like when you do this. You know, I like when you do this.
And actually pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And pay attention to it. Agreed.
So where did we become disconnected from our female counterparts? Like, when did this happen? Like, and what can we do to get it together?
Selfishness.
Great question.
I think the root of most of the issues with people is selfishness. They are very self-centered, and that hurts a lot of relationships. Connect and disconnect, men and women.
Okay, so where did it start though? Like, I guess maybe you're saying with self, but I mean, did we have an example of somebody like in our past or our era in our past where men became disconnected with women and women became disconnected with men?
I would agree. I would say our culture, the way we grew up, like I said, most of us, we didn't see husband and wife teams working together. We saw mama and stepdaddy duking it out, fighting each other, shooting at each other, fighting and going on. That's what a lot of us saw. So I know for me, it took a conscious effort for me to not want that side of my life. Like like you got to make a decision, like I don't want that aspect of my life. I actually want a wife. You get what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean every woman is, going to be a wife. But you have to work on yourself to be a husband, right? Where you get those examples from? Shoot, man. Bill Cosby taught me some stuff from TV. It's just the facts.
And some things from
Alicia Rashad showed me some stuff. You get what I'm saying? You learn things, you know?
And even some things from your past, you got to unlearn because it's toxic.
Very true. Very true.
That's a fact.
I feel like there's a bridge that's missing between Black men and Black women, that we lack communication, we lack empathy. We're not, it's something that is disconnected completely, because it seems like, if you ask me, the longest fighting war of our time is of Black men and Black women warring against each other. Like we're not coming together any closer over all these years. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna give you the theory that I've been told and that I read about in a few books. And they often talk about in the 70s where welfare came about, and it was the thought process. Yeah, the thought process of, okay, you can't have this man in your house if y'all are not married. Y'all can't be a unit. So when the welfare lady come, he got to get out. If you seen the movie Claudine, then you seen that take place in the house because she was dating a guy and he was there. But when the welfare lady came, all the kids had to be there and the guy had to go.
Right.
So that removed the guy from the house. Whether they were married or not, they had a male figure there that had to go, that couldn't live there, that couldn't reside there, because they had to choose between whether I have this assistance for my kids and my family, or I have this guy here. You know,
so that's where the importance of money then came from.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
So got to have your bag.
So
you got to have
the
your
books
bag.
that I've read, that seems to be the common thread of where that separation in the Black community of man and woman kind of started. It might not be, you know what I'm saying, an accurate depiction, but it makes sense that that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of that beginning. And as far as right now, I think social media is just it causes that divide to be even bigger, right? Because people see things that are not true. People see things that don't exist, right? So people create this vision of themselves. You can create who you want to be on social media. You can create who you want to be out here in the world now. So people have this false representation of what things are. Like we talked about earlier, where you have somebody in a relationship, it might look amazing, but he might be at home beating on her. You don't know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Social media, they dressed in same outfits together. They taking family pictures every year. You're clicking like and love on it, but you don't know at home they're getting it in. Right?
He been gone for the last 2 weeks. He just got home today.
Facts. So I mean, you know, it's that perception of, you know, things that are not really true. So I think, again, with Kevin Samuels presenting facts and presenting things that people hadn't had to deal with, it was hard pill to swallow, and it just created that narrative of he's just this bad dude when he was really just trying to, you know what I'm saying, give us some game and put some things out there. Like the old folks say, put something on your mind. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
that'll stick in your craw, huh?
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I think that's really what it amounts to. But I think that, you know, we, you know, here today, you know, all four of us are kind of like on the same mind frame that we understand that, but you know, we're all level-headed people as well. So,
so I mean, and you know what's funny though, Ken? This is the funny part though, is to honestly forget the fact, most women forgetting the fact that he had to put all of this together and make it work, as if Black men haven't had to do that for centuries now. You know, he got to get out there, make something happen, put it together, put it out there. And he built this thing up super huge too. That's the part that amazes me.
Right. And he's still gaining new viewers, people that have never seen him before, even in his death.
Well, you know, people love you more when you're gone, they say, right?
That's why I was just going to say that. Just
they
like
love you like a dead rapper, boy.
It's just like when Nip passed. When Nip passed, everybody became a Nip fan. Like I posted his videos and songs, you know, saying 2 or 3 years ago. Y'all was like, who is this fake Snoop? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but people gravitate to what's hot, to what's popular. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, unfortunately for him, you know, he'll probably elevate even more, like Monique was saying, now that he's passed away, because he'll get more clicks, more likes, more views, and things of that nature. Maybe his family can benefit from it. I hope, you know what I'm saying?
I would
But
hope so too.
you know, it's sad that this had to happen for him to be, you know what I'm saying, put on the forefront like that, because he's been doing some positive stuff, and
Right.
that gets overshadowed, you know what I'm saying, unfortunately. So, you know,
I
that's
hope
why
I hope a lot more of the clips. I don't know who's in charge of his accounts and things of that nature. I don't know, considering, you know, he wasn't married, and, you know, I don't know. But I hope people begin to post more of his positive clips, stuff that was that needs to be put out there, that maybe, like I said, some people who didn't watch full interviews can pull out some of these great clips. I hope whoever is running that account will do that. I hope so.
And I know, like, on my page, I posted, am I the only woman that doesn't disagree with Kevin Samuels? And one lady she commented, and she was like, I'm a 10. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not always a 10. I'm not going to say that I'm always a 10. I might be a 2 today. I might be a 7 tomorrow. And she kept on saying, like, well, I'm a 10. Well, that's the problem, because nobody is a 10.
Usually when you have to talk yourself up like that,
I think
they say the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So, you know,
I think it's a 10. Even a 10 is subjective, right? Because if somebody likes chocolate women, and they see, they say, "Ooh, she a 10." But if that's not their preference, they might be like, "She's a 7, she's an 8." Right. She might be banging, but she might not be as high on their totem pole, because that's not their preference. Right.
Likeability.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it all boils down to preference too. But you know, I think, again, at the end of the day, he was just trying to give us some a roadmap. You know what I'm saying? To be successful, a roadmap to have a different thought process. And you know, people don't want to change the way they think. They think the way they think is just fine and perfect the way it is. And as the old folks say, you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna get what you keep getting, because you've been doing what you've been doing. You got to change it up. If you want a different result, you got to do some different work. You can't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. That's insanity.
Right. But even at work, you're not gonna have a perfect evaluation. Like, there's always got to be room to grow. So making yourself a 10 is saying, I don't need to grow. I'm happy with who I am. I don't need to grow any. And it's the same person that's selling fake bags.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
I was listening to a Cat Williams interview, and I believe he was with Larry King, if I'm not mistaken. And the question was, what was some of the worst advice that you've ever gotten in your life? And he said to never change. Like, don't just be, everybody's on the BU, don't change, be 100. Listen, even the $100 bill has changed over the years.
So true.
Its value has went up and it's went down. So I mean, you have to have that growth. I mean, I think that's how we live. When we evolve, when we learn something new. That's how you know a goal has been accomplished. The old goal is dead now. Let's reach for the next goal. That's how you show your continuous living experiences.
I mean, according to what these ladies be posting, I'm a 10. You know what I'm saying? I got a beard. I'm 6'5". Right? I got a car. I got money. Like, I'm a 10. But you know what I'm saying? If I raise his hat up, I got my hairline receding a little bit. I got to take some that. You know what I'm saying? I got to take some off that.
Hairline knocks off some points.
I'm going to be honest with myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't be a 10 because I got some flaws. I know I got it. So I'm not going to sit up here and tell you I'm no 10. And for you to sit up here and say you're a 10 is delusional. I'm
a 1. So I'm straight. I'm a 1. I'm all right.
You're a 0.34. 0.34. And you 5'9". So you 5'9".
I mean, I'm just saying, man, you know what I'm saying? I understand I'm 5'9". I understand I can't grow a full beard. I understand the complexities. You know what I'm saying? I get it. So we just gonna walk in the smoothness that God gave us. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're gonna do. I can't grow a full beard. Sorry, I can't. I done tried all kind of this and that. But I can't do it. So
did you put some mane and tail on it? I think
I done tried mane and tail. I done tried the
You
serum.
can put some weave on there.
No, we ain't doing. See, but one thing we not gonna do. See, if I will have to go bald, I'm just gonna go bald. Just forget it. The hair starts to tripping and bugging. We gonna live in our reality. You know what I'm talking about?
Get you a man unit. You can't be a high value man with bald. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have hair. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some hair.
Now, some brothers might need that man unit. You know what I'm saying? They might have a little complexity about, you know what I'm saying, being bald. But
everybody can't be like G-Mo with luxurious hair. You know what I'm saying?
Man. And this was the test. I thought I was done. It was looking kind of thin up top. This was the test during COVID. I said, let me see if I can still push it out. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I tried the same thing and I looked bad, so I had to.
All right, y'all. Well, I think we've done a great job of giving people a different aspect of how to view Kevin Samuels and the things that he contributed. And people, go back and visit his videos, do your research, look at some of the other content that he had to offer, because sure, we're not going to be able to change everybody's mind, and everybody's not going to change their outlook on Kevin Samuels, and we know that. But we just want, I guess, for him to get a fair shake. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's gone. He can't defend himself. So y'all jumping him in the comments and stuff is just really unnecessary. And just leave that alone. But y'all already know how we do. At the end of the show, we go around and give everybody some, a chance to give their closing, thoughts and comments before we get up out of here, and give them a chance to let you know who they are and where to find them on social media. So, Ms. Monique, can you start us off?
My name is Monique Askew. I am the owner Askew. I'm the owner of Accuracy Score. We are an analytics staffing company. We staff events in Dallas-Fort Worth, events such as basketball tournaments. And you can reach me on social media at Accuracy Score, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
For sure. I gotta find you on IG, Monique, because we need to advertise your stuff on the page.
So do you have any final thoughts for the people on the Kevin Samuels effect?
My final thoughts is allow people to think whatever they want to think. We all are entitled to our own opinions. Don't knock anybody for how they feel, because just like they feel the way they feel based on their own experiences, you have that same privy too.
Facts. All right. G-Mo, you already know the deal, brother.
Man, so my last thing to say on everything, man, is feel how you want to feel about Kevin Samuels. Love him, hate him, revere him, go do the research, whatever you feel like doing. But, man, respect the dead. Like that. Right. Just respect the dead, man. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is your boy G-Mo the Great, aka King of the Hustle. You know what I'm saying, man? You can catch me right now, man. I'm doing a lot with my photography career right now. You catch me over here at Great Visions. That's GR Harman in the camera. GR, the number 8 Visions. .com. You can catch the website. I'm Great Visions at Facebook. I'm Great Visions at Instagram. Like, I'm all over the place, man. If you need anything, I'm big with branding, business branding. If you need product shoots, headshots, lifestyle, we got the drone in the air. We got podcasts, mobile podcast setups. Whatever you're trying to do with your business to take it to the next level, reach out to Great Visions, and I can still take some pictures of your kids and stuff too if you need it.
Send me that info. I definitely got to connect with you on Instagram.
I got you, fam.
No doubt. Benji Banks, the man, the brand. What's good?
What is going on? Dope show, man. As always, IG, man. Y'all can find me there. BRB4701. Find me on Facebook. Benji Banks. Can't help. Go in my link tree. Go on my site. You'll find some wine. You'll find some products. If you need your business marketed it, got you. We'll take care of you on IG. Got you hooked up. Always follow us on YouTube, the 5 Session Podcast. Yeah, folks is jumping on this. So we thank y'all for jumping on, everybody. And in regards to Kevin Samuels, man, I kind of hate another good brother is gone. You know what I mean? And as details and stuff start to come out, you start to kind of feel a certain type of way because you wanted brother to kind of keep the flame going. But hey, if we could say one thing, man, live your life. Life is short. We don't have as long as we think we do. So live it, man. Try to make an impact. Try to do something. And I think no matter what, you're going to have some likes and some dislikes. That's just part of this life. But man, as my uncle would tell me, son, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You clean the baby up and you throw the bathwater out and you change the diaper on the baby and you clean them up and you make them smell a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So you can hug them next time you see them,
Right.
So I think that's just, even with Kevin Samuel's situation, sometimes, man, you just have to take it with a grain of salt and just kind of flow with it. I loved a lot of his content, so I'm going to miss those lives where he said certain things because, it was just hilarious. So
facts. Well, y'all already know y'all can catch me at Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Big Ken's Comedy on Twitter, Big Ken's Comedy on Facebook. Y'all can catch the Fire Session podcast here every Tuesday and some special nights like tonight. So if you go to the page on Facebook, on YouTube, you'll get the announcement so you'll know when we're going live. You go to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Then y'all already know we're gonna bring y'all some dope content, some dope guests. And this is by request, you know what I'm saying? Gmo came up with this idea. He wanted to talk about Kevin Samuels and we rock with it. Monique posted on her timeline. I saw it and I hit her up and invited her on. So right. Yes, we do just pull things together because we really want to involve people and we're not just talking about it. We actually do it. So y'all keep checking us out, keep tuning in. We're going to keep bringing y'all what y'all really want to see and what y'all really want to hear. So we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week on another dope episode of the Fire Session podcast. Y'all already know. Peace.
Thank y'all for having me.
Follow us on all social media platforms. Just search Fire Session Podcast.